I say I'm an actress because I'm taking myself more seriously. And actually, I like to call myself an actor more than an actress because most of the time it seems like there's a difference there, and it's never really about the gender of it. So I'm an actor, South African actor. I was born in Cape Town. However, I grew up in East London, home is East London. And for those that don't know, it's very difficult to move from a place like the Eastern Cape and come to Johannesburg and start over and say, I have a dream, please listen to me, check me out, this is what I'm about. You literally have to start from nothing. I moved from the Eastern Cape and I came to Johannesburg around 2013. I did not know anyone here. I did not have an action plan. However, I knew what I wanted to do. So I knew that to get it done, I have to pick myself up and come here and do something about it. Now that's very important. Perseverance is very important in this industry because if anything, I have learned that if you're gonna sit and wait for things to happen, that's exactly where you're gonna end up, just at home, sitting and waiting. And so, how did it start? So I got here and I got a job as a media assistant at a media monitoring company. That's basically data capturing. And I worked with print and broadcast, and so basically I was sort of like in the industry, but not really. I was behind the scenes and just watching all these wonderful people doing their thing, on TV, and I wanted to be a part of that. However, I had no idea where to start. But one Friday, beautiful day, I'm busy with our social media feed, and I saw an ad about South Africa's best amateur actors, and I saw it and I told my colleague about it, and she said, why don't you enter? You have to audition. And because I couldn't go to the auditions because I worked 9 to 5, I had to put in a clip. Initially, I did not want to do it because I was very scared. But thankfully, my colleague who placed a bet, and she said, if you make it through, you have to give me $200 because you don't believe in yourself. But if you don't make it through, I'm going to give you $200 because you were right. So I was like, oh, easy money. So I did it, and I shot a video with my nephew screaming in the background. My niece was taking the video, so it was very blurry. It was just bad quality. And I sent it through. 2 weeks later, I got a call, and they told me I made it to the semifinals. Now, it was sponsored by MAC, the washing powder, not the makeup brand. Yeah, I know. So everything about this in jail was just a no-go, really. I didn't take it seriously, but this is $200, and I was about to make $200. So I did it anyway, put my video through, made it to the semifinals, went in for the semifinals, and I remember there was 50 of us, and I was number 45. Already I was at the door. And when I got there, and I got to see everyone bringing their A game, and I saw how everyone was so serious about this and how everyone wanted it so much. I felt bad because I was just there for the money. I didn't really care. And so that's when it hit me. You know what? I have nothing to lose and I'm already here, so let me just give it my all. So I gave it my all and I made it to the semifinals. Semifinals, that's when I met Shona Ferguson, Nomzamo Batas, Dumom Chali, and Daryl Root. Daryl Root is a director, he directed Sarakin. That's when I took it seriously. I was like, okay, this is serious. I made it to the semifinals. Semifinals were 15 of us, and I was number 15 exactly. And when I got the call, the lady said, I remember, she said, thank God you picked up. Because initially you didn't make it to the finals. You are the 17th contestant, and because you picked up, you made it. So now I am crying myself to sleep because I am not talented, but I'm here. So what the heck? And I went to the finals, and I gave everything I got. We had 2 rounds. The first round, we had to do a monologue that we were given. The second one, we had to come up with our own monologue. Now, when I did my own monologue, I did a monologue from the movie The Devil Wears Prada. And if you guys have seen the film, Meryl Streep is in that film, and I did a monologue by Meryl Streep. I'm very brave, but I did it, and I knew that it was challenging, but I wanted to prove myself that I could, put myself in such big shoes, and I could carry the story through. But I was number 15, which meant I went last. So everyone else went before me, and I got to sit down and watch everyone else. I don't know how many times I went for the door, because everyone's monologue was either drama or like very serious. Like people were crying, others were getting arrested, others were dying. And here I had my little monologue, which was comedy/romance. So I thought, okay, there's no way I'm going to make it through. So there are 5 winners that are going to be selected, and each winner wins 10,000, a contract to work with Daryl Ruitt, and a year's supply of Mac products. So I thought, okay, 10K and a contract. I am gunning for that contract, so I need to win this. At least I have, 5 chances. So I went on stage and I gave it my all. And I remember the comments. Shauna Ferguson said, I have a way of engaging with the camera, because because we're amateurs and we don't really know much about what it takes to be an actor, especially if you haven't done anything, you haven't studied acting or like me. It's very easy to forget that there's a camera and you play off for the people, then you walk away from where your mark is actually supposed to be. So Shauna Ferguson said I had a way with the camera, and I understood what it took to portray a character in a sense that is not only broadcasted for the audience, but also for the camera. And I hung on to that. That was very important for me, because I knew this was the start of something I had no idea of, but I knew that I wanted it to be the beginning of something. And so, to cut the story short, I won the show. And I was the second winner. And when they called my name, I remember sitting down, and they were looking at me, and they kept saying, "Go on stage." I didn't say my name. And Unomzamimba had to grab the mic and be like, "No, you, come, you won." And I went on stage and I held my check, and I'm thinking, $200 for who and what and why? Because I've got 10K now. And when I walked out of that venue, that's when I realized that this is what I want to do. I knew already that I wanted to do it, but I hadn't done it. Now, I'd like to think that who you are before you do something and who you are after you've done it are 2 different people. And so, ever since that day, I knew that I had to keep pushing, and I had to give 10 times more than how much I gave the last time. And I'm already in. I've got a contract. I met producers and directors. So I'm thinking, okay, my name is already where it needs to be. So everything else is just going to follow. That is not the case. I did the movie, only to get there and find out that no, I'm just going to play some nun that has like 2 words in the entire film. And that broke my heart. And after that, I think I stayed at home and did nothing for 6 months. So that was a reality check for me. And 6 months later, 10K is done. It's finished. So reality check. It's not all roses and daisies. It's not gonna happen and then suddenly you're flying with the big guns. No, you have to keep at it. You have to move. If people are moving, you move too. People are standing, you stand too. But you're right there, you're in it, and you're giving it your all every single day. So that's how it started for me, but that's not how I got here. I was fortunate enough because I got to showcase what I had to offer in front of the likes of Shona Ferguson. He was busy with his upcoming series Igazi at the time, and he told me about it, and he asked me to come and audition. I auditioned, I didn't get the part, and then I realized this guy knows something about me. Let me use this. And I spoke to him and I said to him, can I shadow you? Not you, because you're a producer, but like, can I shadow your set? Can I be on your set and shadow all the artists? And he was kind enough to say yes. And I went on his set for 2 weeks, I think. And that's when I studied people and paid attention just to inform myself and to get to know what it takes, and preparation, basically. And after 2 weeks, he said, okay, surely you've learned something, because I've got something for you. And I said, okay. And this little something, I had to play a gold digger that was going to shoot a sex scene with Uanga Makuba. Now guys, I've never been on TV, ne? This is my first gig. And I'm shooting a sex scene with Uanga Makuba. So this is a girl from the Eastern Cape who knows nothing, who just came to Johannesburg and tells her mom she's gonna get on TV. And the first time I have to call my mom and tell her I'm gonna appear on TV, I tell her some boy is gonna be touching me in ways that I cannot explain to you. Okay, and my mom said to me two things. It's either you do it or you don't do it. You do it, you need to know that this is what it's about. This is what's going to be expected of you. You don't do it, you never know. Maybe this was the beginning and the end. So you whatever decision you make now, either way, it's going to affect your future. And I sat down and I thought about it. And I spoke to the director and I asked him, how much of me are you going to show? And he said, no, it all depends on you, but it's not that kind of show. So I said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Because I wanted to see also as an artist, how far am I willing to take it? And so I did it. And it was the worst experience of my life. No, not like that. But like, because insecurities and all of that. And however, there was a lesson when I walked out of that set that day. I knew, okay, this is where I draw the line. This is what I'm willing to do, and this is what I'm not willing to do. So next phase, I knew that at this point, on my own, I'm not getting where I want to be. So I knew I needed to find somebody. That's when the word agent comes up. It was not easy. I looked around, I asked around, and obviously it's Johannesburg, guys. As soon as you ask a stranger and you tell them, I'm from the Eastern Cape and I have a dream and this is what I want to do, I want an agency, they're like, oh yeah, sure, come, we have an agency for you. You get the 2,000 rands to sign up. 2,000 rands, oh okay. Am I also getting my first job? No. You just sign in. We're taking a few pictures of you, and then we're going to put you on our website. That's it. Yeah, sure, I'm not clued up as to what's going on, but I'm not stupid either. And that went on for months, and eventually I fell for it. And I signed up on some sunshine, what, and I paid about $700, and they put my face on their website, and that was it. And then I realized, no, this is on me again. I have to hustle for myself. I have to find my way somehow. And I remember when I was shadowing performers on the set of Igazi, I met the interns from Mnet. And at the time, there were still interns, so they were also being trained, and they had a short story that they were putting together. And I contacted one of them and I spoke to them and I asked around, and they said, okay, no, you know what, we're actually gonna have auditions, and why don't you come through and audition? And I went through and auditioned, go to the callbacks, went through for callbacks, and I got the part. And this was my first sort of project that I was lead in. It was a short film called The Ring. It played on it was the DaVinci Magic bicycle project. And I was excited because now, you know, I can be seen as an artist. And I got to work with some of the best in the industry. I worked with Kenneth Ngozi, he played my father. And I remember we sat down and we were talking, and he always gave me advice. And he was kind enough to, you know, tell me that he saw potential in me. And he asked me, do I have an agency? And I said, no. And he said, have you done your homework? And I said, I think so. And we started talking about agencies. And he educated me about agencies. Now, I'm not saying there's always going to be someone out there willing to help you and to tell you or to give you information that you need to know. But it's good to ask. It's good to have your eyes and your ears open. Just because you never really know who is willing to help until you put yourself out there. And once you do know, you also have the urge to do something. Because once you're uninformed about something and you want to see yourself somewhere, it drags more and time goes slower. And let's move on. I got an agency finally, and I started working on my first project. This was 2015, towards the end of 2015. 2016, beginning of the year, I signed my first feature film. And this was an international feature film. And I played lead. Every single day, the words coming out of my mouth right now, they shock me. Because had you asked me a question of where I'd see myself 2-3 years later, 3 years ago, I probably would have said, I don't know. But I know what I want. I know where I want to find myself. So I think the moral of the story is, in this industry, you have to have faith. You have to have faith. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in your drive. You have to have faith in where you've come from, where you see yourself, where you are. Because the next person looking at you is going to see a beautiful Indian 20-something-year-old, and they're going to think, what is it that you have to offer me that beautiful Indian 20-something-year-old doesn't have? We are all the same to them. We are all the same. We all have the one thing to offer. So you have to stand out. So what is it about you that stands out, basically? Because especially in the industry, there's a lot of me's. I'm 24 years old. I'm black. I'm 1.65 meters tall. There's a lot of me. I've got an afro. There is a lot of girls with afros, 20-somethings, black. So what is it about me that's different about the other one? That's a constant question that you have to ask yourself and that you have to answer, because nobody knows you more than you. Also, when you say you want to be an actor, why do you want to be an actor? Because I love the camera. That's not good enough. Because I love movies. That's not good enough. You have to have a reason that is going to push you. Because if your reason is to be famous, the thing about fame is it has a lot to do with your looks. It has a lot to do with what you did yesterday and how you can improve it today. And you have no guarantee that because yesterday you were running, today you'll be running still. You could get into a car accident, next thing you're not walking anymore. So it's you have to sit down and have that conversation with yourself every single day. And for me, why did I want to be an actor? For the longest time, I thought because I've got a huge, wild imagination. And I feel as though my mind, if someone were to get into my mind, they'd come out and be like, I want to get back in there. So it's a world that I want to show to you guys and everyone else. And I'm somehow just hoping that you are willing to come into my world, or you're willing to allow me to bring my world into yours. Because that's when someone wakes up tomorrow and realizes that, hey, I love Sive's acting. I'm actually a fan. Because I've brought them into my world, they've seen it, and they like it, and they want to see more of it. So for me, that's why I wanted to become an actress or an actor. Because I want the world to see my world and how different and how brighter and how happier it is from the world that we're living in. So I don't box myself. I know, famous question, what is acting? I'm sure everyone has their own definition of acting. What I always say for me, acting is not necessarily playing or portraying someone different. For me, acting is portraying someone different and trying to find the similarities between the two of you and proving to the person watching you that actually me and this person are different. Because you might sit here and think, I'm a decent person, I'm innocent, I would never kill a person. However, every day you play a murderer. Ask yourself, why do you play a murderer on TV? And you do it so well, and you got that part. I'm not saying we're all murderers or anything like that, but it just means we all have it in us. That's why people do the most horrendous things that you could never have imagined, and you look at them and you think, it doesn't look like that person. I never thought that person could be capable of something like that. Because we all have it in us. We all have an evil side, all have a good side, we all have a childish side. We all have it in us. We just have to find a way to bring it out. That's it. And that's why every single day an actor becomes so excited to portray a different character. Because that means they have to tap into them in it, like deep, and try and find that character within themselves. So another thing that I wanted to talk about, sorry, I keep losing pointers, and because I believe in speaking from the mind and the heart, and that's why I didn't jot anything down. But please, if you guys have any questions, however, I do want to make it very clear on what Lungile said. I am not an OG. I've only been in this industry for 5 years, guys. I'm learning every single day. If y'all want OGs at the back over there, red t-shirt, blue t-shirt, they got you. But I've only been in the industry for 5 years, and I've been fortunate enough to learn a few things here and there, and I learn every single day. Guys, right now I'm on Scandal on ETV. Yeah. Thank you. I play Lungile Mayindi. I play the daughter of Slr Magic's character. I grew up watching Slr Magic when he still had dreadlocks on ECD. Now he plays my dad. So, and it's crazy because when you talk about people that you look up to or people that you've grown up watching, and then they ask you at home, "Ooh, if you ever worked with so and so, how would you feel?" And you're just like, I would lose my mind. I'd set my hair on fire. And then you work with them, and then they ask you at home, "How do you feel working with someone?" And you're just like, "Oh, that's great." And then they're like, "What happened to setting your hair on fire?" And then you're like, "Oh, hell no, they're humans. They're just like me. They're great, but not enough to set my hair on fire." So every single day, you learn that the spectacular that we watch every single day on TV, it is great, but as soon as those people step out of that spectacular, they're just human beings. And that's when you get to understand even the little things, that just because I'm an actor doesn't mean I'm going to drive an SUV. Just because I'm an actor doesn't mean when I walk into a club, they turn off the music, they escort you, they put red carpets. It doesn't work like that. Unless you're on But I think what I'm trying to say is, you are in the industry, but you're not irreplaceable. You're in today, you're gone tomorrow. You have a job now, you don't have it 2 hours later. I've had a friend who signed on the dotted line to play a character. 5 hours later, something came up. The client, this, that. So you have to prepare yourself. You know when they say an actor prepares, I don't think it necessarily means an actor prepares as in script. An actor prepares for anything. Because if they call you and they say, sorry brother, you're not on Scandal anymore. What now? Is it over? Is it done? What is it? It doesn't mean you're not an actor anymore. It means you're still an actor, just not on Scandal. So I always say, the worst they could say to you is no. Truly, that is the worst. I could not believe it. There's a series that I was on ETV. Still playing, guys. Easy Money. Please watch Mondays and Tuesdays, 9:30 on ETV. While I was shooting it, I met a couple of people, and I met this lady who's been in the industry for a very long time. And there was an incident that happened one day, guys, and she quit. She quit the whole business. She quit. She said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I kid you not. I see on Instagram now. She's a family woman. I'm happy for her. She's beautiful. She's doing great. But one incident, and it was over for her. So we tried talking her out of it because she's been in this industry for a long time. But maybe she was also just tired, and she felt as though, okay, you know what? I've reached my peak, and it's time for me to throw in the towel. But things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. And it's going to seem like maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe it isn't. But she quit. She quit the whole business. She quit. She said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I kid you not. I see on Instagram now. She's a family woman. I'm happy for her. She's beautiful. She's doing great. But one incident, and it was over for her. So we tried talking her out of it because she's been in this industry for a long time. But maybe she was also just tired, and she felt as though, okay, you know what? I've reached my peak, and it's time for me to throw in the towel. But things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. And it's going to seem like maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe it isn't. But just because that happened doesn't mean that you give up. There are people that have been pushing this for 18 years, never got recognition, never been noticed for their hard work. And then one project that they do, one production, and then suddenly, oh, look at Warren Masemula. Warren Masemula has been at this. But now suddenly, we did this one thing. Now, guys, great actor. Let's give him a SAFTA. So just because that happened doesn't mean that you give up. There are people that have been pushing this for 18 years, never got recognition, never been noticed for their hard work. And then one project that they do, one production, and then suddenly, oh, look at Warren Masemula. Warren Masemula has been at this. But now suddenly, we did this one thing. Now, guys, great actor. Let's give him a SAFTA. So There are gonna be ups, there are gonna be downs. Most of the time, it's gonna be downs. But I promise you the ups are gonna be incredible. And once the ups come, it's imperative that you hold on to that up, because it's what's gonna keep you going. When I landed that job of the feature film that I was talking about, guys, that was the best thing that could ever have happened to me. I got to travel the world. I went to Washington, D.C. Guys, I got a passport. It was the best. When I got back and I wasn't getting jobs, I was like, it's fine. I've got a passport. It's okay. Nothing can get me down. You can't take Washington, D.C. away from me. You can't take Uganda away from me. You can't take Zimbabwe away from me. I traveled, boo. And that means I know what I'm doing. That means what I'm doing knows me. It just means not now, not tomorrow, but I have it in me. So now what's left is I have to keep at it. I have to carry myself through. Crawl, then I said, but get there. Just get there. Because, like I said, you may audition today, and even they call you for callbacks, and sometimes callbacks are not once. Sometimes they're twice, sometimes they're 3 times, and you get there and you notice it's the same girl, which means it's you, ne? And then they just keep changing the guys, and you're like, it's a done deal, I'm in. Now they're just trying to decide with the others, for the chemistry. That's why I'm here every now and again. Next week you see the ad playing on TV, and you see, no man, the person that got the ad wasn't even there at the auditions when y'all were auditioning. So it's never a guarantee. And at the end of the day, the voice that you see and hear when it talks to you and it tells you that you are great may not necessarily be the voice that is going to say, sign her on the dotted line. There's a client, there's a voice, there's a bigger voice, there's this voice, then there's the bigger voice. That bigger voice tells this voice, then this voice tells you. Sometimes this voice doesn't tell you, because the bigger voice spoke already. So you have to register in your mind that I'm an artist, ne? And I know that I'm an artist. But the next person doesn't care what you are. They don't care what you are. It's the same as they give you a script, like a full script, and they say, okay, read the script, tomorrow you're going to do it. You come in, you're confident, you read your script, you're ready to go, you get there. They're like, actually, we're not going to do this script, we're going to do this script. You can't say, this is the script you gave me, this is what I prepared, I can't do this. You can't do that. You have to say, sure, let's see what you got. And you're freaking out, but you're freaking out inside. You can't let them see that you're freaking out, because someone is on standby. Utin, can they do it? Oh, okay, they'll do it. If you can't do it, come through. They can't do it. There's always someone on your steps behind you. There's someone on your shadow. So if you keep that in mind, I don't think anything really can get you down. I know a lot of people stress about auditions. I stress about auditions all the time. But tell yourself, if that role is supposed to be yours, it's gonna be yours. Even if you're auditioning with, I don't know, like the best of the best. If you're gonna get the part, you're gonna get that part regardless. I know this because I was the only rookie in that feature film. Literally. Everyone else has been in the game for years. And I was the only new face. They should have written they're introducing Sivenathi, but yeah, it's fine. So what I'm trying to say is, you are an artist to yourself. And when you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm an actor, I'm a South African actor, you know that. But does the next person know that? No. And it shouldn't bother you. That's fine. That's okay. When I just get there and show them that you're an artist and show them that you're an actor, so that by the time you walk out, they say, she's an actor. That's what it's about. Impression. That's what it's about. Preparation. An actor prepares. That should be your mantra. Say it every day. An actor prepares. And not just scripts. Not just for an audition. Not just for anything. For anything. And it's important to educate yourself. Things like this I respect and love because we walk out of here with a tad bit more in our minds, in our hearts. And we get to see, people that are in it and that are doing it. And then you think, I can do it too. And that's what it's about. And that's what it should be about. So yeah, man, that's all I got, guys. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Nah. Yes.
So when you were trying to get into it, did you still have your 9-to-5 job or did you leave it completely?
I quit.
But then how did you make money while you were?
Okay, obviously when I got the job, I knew that this is temporary. I have a bigger plan. I've got a bigger dream. And so I saved up and then I also got the 10K. So I knew something had to happen before that money ran out. So I told myself, okay, this is vision board, guys. Vision board is very important because that thing reminds you that when you left home because you had something to do. So I had a vision board. I knew if I were to show you guys my vision board from 2014, you would not believe because I have checked out every single thing on that board. And it still amazes me, really. So you have to have a goal. You have to have a dream. That's the first step. And then you have to have a drive. You have to push yourself to get to those things. So when I won the competition, I knew this is the beginning and there is no way I'm going to let this fly by me like nothing happened. So I knew I had to step up and give it my all while things were still steaming hot. Because things get hot and they get cold. So, yes.
So I've got friends that want to get into the industry doing what you do, but have been scammed as well. So what agencies would you recommend?
Okay, there is a website, I think it's www.pma. Is it?
Yeah.
There's a list of agencies there. It's not gonna be easy. You don't call them and say, I want to be an actor. It doesn't work like that. They'll drop the phone. And you'll ask for an email, they'll give it to you. You'll send an email, then they'll just look at it and they'll move on. But persistence. So just try that website. That's where all the agencies are enlisted. All the top dog agencies are listed. And legit also. They're very much legit. Oh, and another thing. Agencies are not supposed to charge you any fee. Anytime, anywhere. Nokuba, I don't care what the name of the agency is. I don't care who they've worked with. They're not supposed to charge you a dime. No? Okay, cool. Yes.
My question is I don't know, it's a weird one, but I've done some acting and I've worked on some sets and stuff like that. But there's this weird thing I feel in me that tells me, like, I don't know, like I feel like I haven't told myself like you're part of the industry. So my question is to you, like, what were the steps you took from calling yourself like an aspiring actor to I'm an actor? Like, what can you please share those with me?
You know what I loved about what you just said?
Yes.
You said I said, I thought, I.
Yeah.
It begins with you. So as soon as you reach a point where you say, I'm proud of how far I've come, and irregardless of whether I get an applause from someone or someone comes up to me and says I'm great, you need to know that you're great. And if you still feel as though you're not ready to say you're great, it means you're lacking something. So you need to brush up on that thing and find it. Because the reason why it took me so long to say, to stop saying I'm an aspiring actor, that I'm an actor, is because I hadn't done all the things that I've done, and I hadn't reached a point where I looked at my work and said, okay. Every time, I wouldn't watch my work actually. I was very skeptical, and I would always ask people to watch and tell me what they thought. And that's dangerous, because yes, criticism is sharp, but it's dangerous to a certain point, because how do you know what to fix if you're not going to watch yourself? How do you know the bad habits? How do you know the mistakes? Or how do you know that, okay, this is how I'm supposed to favor the camera and not like this? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the little details that will help you reach a decision of whether or not you're happy with yourself or you're happy with your work. So be proud of how far you've come, because there are still people out there that say they want to do acting, but they have no means, they have no resources, they have done absolutely nothing. It's just word of mouth. When you can say, I have done A, B, and C, and that's good enough. That's where it starts. Thank you for bringing that up, actually. Also, please guys, if you've done something, just record it so that you have it. It works with agencies, because then you get to give them something tangible and they see your work. Then it's easier for them to decide if they want to meet you or not. Because if you just send a lousy email saying, I've seen your work, please consider me. Why? Why should I consider you? Because I'm talented. They all say so. Do you understand what I'm saying? So at least if you have something to show them, then they can decide whether or not, okay, you really are talented. So I hope I've answered your question, but really it starts with you. Like I can't say more than that, because whether 10 people come up to you and say you're great, one person comes up to you, they say you're whack. I don't really think those 10 people matter anymore. For me, at least, that's how it always was for me. 10 people will come and they say incredible work. If one person comes and they say, I don't know. If I were you, I'd just go back to the Eastern Cape. That was just anxiety all over again. So yeah. No ways. I'm not taking your questions.
Questions. Can I?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Have you had no's before when you're auditioning? So I just want to know, how do you come out of that? Because I think a lot of people die because of the no rejection from auditions.
At first, just like everyone else, the no's were very discouraging, and then I had a conversation one day with, I think it was, I'm not sure who it was, but it was someone in the industry, and they were talking with someone else, and I was eavesdropping. And then I overheard her saying she's had so many no's that no is like a song. And it's just one of those annoying songs that are catchy, but you're just like, I hate the song. And I thought to myself, okay. And you know what? Soon enough, the no's just became, that's where I got my mantra, my say, the words that I live by. The worst they could say to you is no. They don't take away your talent. They don't take away your limbs. They don't take away your voice. Nothing. They just said no, and that's it. And just because this person said no doesn't necessarily mean that the next person is going to say no either. A great story is Thuso Mbitu's story. She sat at home for 6 months without work. Where is she now? Any nominee? So it's your story. I have my story. I have my story of how I started out, and I'm gonna tell the story till the day I die. And it's gonna continuously be what encourages me every single day. You have your story. You have your story. You have your story. So that should motivate you. that, you know what, this no is one day going to be a story. And then we're going to laugh about it. And you're going to tell the next person, it just became an annoying sign that was just catchy. I hope that answers your question. Y'all are done, ne? Please say you're done.
Bro, thank you.